Hello chess lovers, I have a very beautiful game for you played by Mikhail Tal against Georgy Lisitsyn. The game was played in 1956 in Leningrad. Mikhail Tal had white pieces and he started with e4, c5 by Lisitsyn, Sicilian defense, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3 and j6. Black is going for dragon variation. f4. Mikhail Tal is choosing 11-fish variation against the dragon. This f-pawn is coming to support the e-pawn in order to push it forward. This is a very tricky line and black has to be very careful, otherwise black can find himself in a deep trouble. Previously, I have published a game where Rashid Nejmetdinov is punishing his opponent with this variation. I will pin the link in the comment section. We see knight c6, stopping the pawn's further advancement, but now Mikhail Tal is capturing on c6, removing the defender and then playing e5. Knight d7, e takes d6, e takes d6, bishop e3, bishop e7, queen f3, developing the queen with a tempo, attacking the pawn on c6 and preparing castling queenside, d5 and white castles queenside. Actually, this is a daring decision. The b file is opened and black can use that fact and attack white king. Bishop f6, bishop d4, black castles kingside, and there it goes, h4. This can opener is marching forward to expose black's kingside. Rook b8, queen f2, rook b4, bishop takes f6, knight takes f6, a3 and queen b6. Black is forcing an exchange of queens. Now if white moves away the queen from f2 square, then we'll lose the pawn on b2 square. That's why Mikhail Tal captures on b6. Probably Georgy Lisitsyn was afraid of the fact that Mikhail Tal might go for a queen sacrifice. That's why he forced an exchange of queens as early as possible. Rook takes b6, knight a4. This knight will now eye on c5 square, not allowing any c5 moves. Rook b7, bishop d3, knight h5, rook f1, rook e7. The rook is occupying the e file and f5. Tal is going for a pawn sacrifice in order to damage black's pawn structure. G takes f5 and rook e1. Of course, white can't capture on f5 because of this knight g3 fork. That's why we see rook e1, rook e8, rook takes e7, rook takes e7, and in this position Mikhail Tal came up with a very interesting idea. Knowing that in the endgame the king is the best attacking piece, Tal played king d2. Now you will see this king is going for a long walk. Knight g3, king c3, f4, king d4. Look at this white king. Bishop f5, rook d2. After the exchange of bishops, Tal needs this rook on the second rank to cover white pawns. Rook e6, knight c5, rook h6. Not a good move. Black wants to win this pawn on h4 square, but playing rook e1 would have been better. But instead we see rook h6, which allows white to place his king on e5 square, and this king is becoming more and more active. Bishop takes d3, c takes d3, rook takes h4. Right now Tal is 2 pawns down. King d6 and rook h6 check. A very passive approach. Black is defending the pawn on c6 square, but counter-attacking would have been better. For example, rook h2 with the idea of f3. If rook f2, then knight f5 check. Now king takes c6 can't be played because after f3 white can't capture on f3 with a rook because of this knight d4 fork. That's why after knight f5 check, white should play king c7, then black can play knight e3 coming after this g2 pawn, and this is going to be a very sharp battle. But instead after king d6 we see rook h6 check, king c7. Now this king is going after the a7 pawn, knight f5, king b7, knight d4, rook f2, a5, and white captures on f4, knight e6, rook g4 check, king f8, And the pawn on c6 also drops. Black's position is becoming very dangerous. We see the exchange of knights on c5 square, rook e6, and white is now capturing the pawn on d5. Rook b6, b4, getting another passed pawn, this time on b file. King e7, king c5, rook f6, the king came in order to support the b pawn. First we see rook d4 cutting the king's path, and then this b pawn will march forward. Rook f6 check, king c7, rook f5, rook e4 check, king f6, king c6, rook f2 g4, first protecting the pawn h5, g takes h5, king g5, b5, f5, rook b4, the rook is coming to support the pawn from behind, not allow any rook b2 moves, f4, b6, but let's see who will be faster, f3, b7, and black resigned. Well, if rook c2 check, then king d6. Now if f2, then black can either play this simple rook b1 move. Now if f1 queen, then rook takes f1, rook b2, king c7. Again, this is going to be winning for white, or after f2, white can even promote the pawn to a queen straight away. If f1 queen, then queen g8 check, king takes h5, and soon black king will get checkmated. Let's have a look at that splendid checkmate on the board. That's why, as I've already mentioned, after b7, Georgy Lisitsyn resigned. A very interesting and instructive game, I think. Even in the endgame, Tal sacrificed 2 pawns and then went for that mad king walk and managed to beat his opponent. If you enjoyed this brilliant game, don't forget to give the thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. More games are coming. Good luck.